Okay, so this is a really, really quick remote view. It's tonight's remote. I'm just about to go to sleep and I try to meditate and access information and scan grids and then put myself in the shoes of various different people. Tonight, I'm trying to get into the mood inside Iran. There's not a lot of information coming out of Iran right now because um, they've gone dark a little bit. There has been film footage of prisoners walking down the highway, so evidently somebody has started releasing the prisoners inside the prisons. The same thing happened in Syria during the fall of Syria, which means one of two things. Either the guards are dead, have been killed, or the guards have joined the other side and begun releasing the prisoners. Um, The United States has bunker bombs, which are quite powerful, and if they're going to take out the Fordham nuclear power plant, uranium site, it's deep underground. If they're going to do that, they're going to have to use a bunker bomb, and those not only are they going to have to use a bunker bomb, but they could be some release of radiation in the area. And so that's probably why the United States wants people to leave Tehran, because they're probably going to drop a bunker bomb on the area that holds the uranium. There are some concerns that something is going on. If they're detecting earthquakes, people have talked about earthquakes, that's sometimes a concern, because if there's nuclear bombs that are being tested, or if they're being tested underground in a mountainside or something like that, it can give off earthquake-like energy. If they detect a small earthquake in an area, it could be that the seismic activity is due to nuclear testing. So that's the concern if somebody detects something that looks like a earthquake or something like that taking place in Iran. I felt like my eyes were actually on the south of Iran, and the concern there is that you could get fighters coming in from Pakistan, Afghanistan, who are with the Taliban and extreme groups siding and trying to help Iran. So this is one of the reasons why Pakistan closed the border. There were a large number of religious Shia attempting to flee into Pakistan. So one of the things that they're going to want to do is to seal up and protect that border to prevent people from going in. That's the biggest threat to the stability of Iran at this time, is fighters coming in from other areas like Afghanistan, Pakistan, etc., that they're going to go and liberate Iran. And so for that reason, I would be, as a military strategist, just scanning the grid. I'm very concerned about fighters coming in to help Iran that could be coming from extremist areas like Afghanistan and some parts of Pakistan. And for that reason, I would say to make sure that they're watching that border, and that should be a priority for the Western allies when they attempt to take out this regime. So that's the first thing that I would say, is that they want to watch the borders because fighters could be coming in, making problems during this process. The other thing that I felt, and I felt it again tonight, was that the military's gone. I mean, they fled. I just don't see this massive, when I scan, I just don't, I don't see a massive Iranian army ready to go to war with the West. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's an empty city, like they killed their leaders, that the IRGC is in civil war, the Iranian Guard is in civil war, that some of the people, that the members of the Iranian Guard that are Mossad agents. Are probably deep inside the IRGC, and they're assassinating anybody that's not going to be that's attempting to stop this um, liberation, basically, of Iran from this from Ayatollah Khamenei. So, in terms of being Khamenei and what I think the future is, it feels to me a lot like Saddam Hussein, the end of Saddam Hussein, in the sense that it is better for them to arrest and try him in the courts than for him to die a martyr. And that is probably more what the people of Iran want. They want him to be captured. And that was a good thing what they did with Saddam Hussein, in the sense that he was captured, he was tried, and then the people of Iraq were able to get justice in that sense, even though I don't really I don't support the death penalty. But at least it was some kind of a justice system, whereas if they assassinate him, it could lead to something far worse, or possibly some type of retaliation. Whereas if he's humiliated, if he's serving time in prison, and if he has to sit for trial and listen to the countless victims whose lives have been destroyed because of this crazy cult that he's the head of, that is a far greater way of dismantling leadership inside of Khamenei's regime, is this idea of him not as this supreme leader who's a mouthpiece for God, but rather as simply a humble man. Just as Saddam Hussein, his life ended, he was captured hiding in a hole and had to go through the humiliating process of being tried. It's very likely we could see the same thing happening to Ayatollah Khamenei, and I think in a way it would be better for the people of Iran than if something like he were assassinated, and it would ultimately be a better end overall. But in general, it's really hard for me to find any kind of resistance. I just don't think there's a resistance. If there is a resistance, it's like everybody went quiet. Everyone, and I don't know if it's just because so many people were, I know a lot of people were assassinated. Also, they detonated cars, which is something, I don't know if it made it to the press, but some of the leaders, the Iranian leadership, their cars blew up. So it just feels like Tehran is empty. I'm not seeing this massive retaliation. I feel like the government fled. I feel like the government fled, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't even think there's going to be, I just don't see this war going on for very long. And it just goes back to this idea that Russia outsourced their violence to proxy armies and really didn't build up their own army. They didn't want to be the ones doing the fighting and the dying and the killing. They were more than happy to send other people's children to go and do the fighting and the killing and the dying in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria. So that's basically what I see, and that is what I think would be the best outcome for Ayatollah Khamenei, and we'll wait and see, but it feels like that would be the direction people would be going in. All right, thank you everyone for your love and support. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, I'll be back home soon. Be kind to all, so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye.